I'd like to introduce our first panelists from Stargazers Vineyard and Winery, Jason Kirkpatrick and Michael Vorauer. We're really excited to have them here. They're the new-ish owners of the winery. What a time to start a business, but they have a lot of great wine to tell us about. So without further ado, gentlemen, please take it away. Let me share my screen here. And there we go.
Hi, I'm Jason, and
I'm Michael.
We took over Stargazers in March of 2019 with a plan to eventually buy into the winery, making it ours. It was an interesting journey along the way. There you see John and his wife Alice, who were the founding owner and winemakers for many years. We stepped in when John was ready to retire and start the second phase of his life. So I'll let Michael tell a little bit now about some of the operations.
So the property is a 29-acre property. There are 15 acres of grapes that are surrounded by deer-proof fence, of which 12 acres are under trellis. We have planted 9 varieties of wine grapes that are all vinifera varieties of grapes. They originate in Europe. All of the wines are produced from the farm itself here. We do have an exception to that. We did bring in some Riesling grapes from the Finger Lakes, New York, where they really have good growing conditions for quality fruit. So all of the wines are made here. So this is an idea, a listing of all the wines we have. We have 2 Chardonnays. We have a Gruner Veltliner from, the Gruner Veltliner originates from Austria. We have an Arnaz, which originates from the Piedmont region of Italy. We have our Riesling, and we also produce 3 sparkling wines. They are fermented in the bottle, just like champagne would be. We just can't call it champagne, according to federal law. But we do have a traditional brut, a Chardonnay brut, and a rosé of Pinot Noir brut. And then we have a few other wines, some sweet wines, a sweet Riesling, a blush, and then we have a few reds that we're offering with new releases to come. We have Pinot Noir, Cabernet Franc, and Petit Verdot. And what will be coming out new is, in the next few weeks, actually, is a Turaldigo, which is another Italian dark red. So we're very excited to have a lineup of nice reds to offer all of our customers here at Stargazers.
And for the future red wine program for this year, we did bring in some really wines right now that are in various stages of malolactic fermentation happening. We have a Merlot that Michael's going to be producing, a Cabernet Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon, Shiraz,
and Aglianico.
Aglianico.
An Italian red.
And it's a really intense dark red. These are fruit that we are bringing in from other states. Unfortunately, this year we kind of had a low harvest. So we did have to bring some fruit in to beef it up, to beef up our red wine program.
And we also brought in fruit, not just from our own vineyard, not from other states, but also from Pennsylvania as well. We're trying to stay as local as we can. The Turaldigo that we're going to be producing is actually from Northeast Pennsylvania, up on the Finger Lakes.
So what's happening here, Michael is looking at the bricks in the grape. This little machine can kind of guide him through looking at that level to determine when he's ready to harvest.
So this is a refractometer, and it measures the sugar content.
That little machine.
That little machine is a refractometer that measures the sugar content of the grapes. And we start monitoring the sugar content in the fall of the year as the grapes start to ripen, typically around September. Our harvest for us starts around toward the end of September and extends all the way into November. So we harvested our reds around November 4th of this year, which is rather a late harvest, but we had a later year in starting because of weather conditions in the spring. It postponed the growth of the vines, and it pushed everything back later in the year.
We did process also from our vineyard How many tons of Gruner Veltliner?
It was right at 2.5 tons.
2.5 tons.
2.5 tons. We're very excited. The vineyard, when we took it over, was recuperating from a freeze that it suffered in January of last year, where we had temperatures of -10 degrees. And so a lot of damage was done to the buds of the plants. And so last year we focused on training new growth and redirecting some of the energy into the plants to new shoots and new trunks. And this year we did have I would say a medium to light crop. And next year, barring a very bad weather or winter weather, we hope to have a really nice crop in the coming year. We expect to get probably around 15 to 18 tons off the vineyard this coming year without any damaging cold weather.
Yeah, it's farm life.
It's farm life, yes. So in this photo here, the photo on the left is we're crushing some of the grapes. This is a crusher stemmer. We're actually dumping grapes. All the grapes are hand harvested, and they are dumped into this machine by hand, and then the grapes fall to the bottom into an auger where they are then moved into a tank. The red grapes are moved into a tank. These happen to be, I believe, some of the Gruner Veltliner.
Yeah, that's Gruner.
And these are actually going right into the press. The press is not pictured here, but the press actually will press all the juice out, and then the juice goes into the tanks for fermentation. In the middle picture, we are actually doing the filtration, and I'm actually sampling some of the wine as it passes through the filter core of the filter. And in the last photograph, I'm actually doing some comparison analysis. I'm doing benchtop analysis, where we are actually blending some of the Petit Verdot, the Cabernet Franc, and some of the Touralego into our new Warp Drive blended red.
So this is the fun part. Well, it's all fun.
It's all fun.
It's all a lot of work. But this through this, you know, when March hit, we were floored. We didn't quite know how we would be able to manage and get through things, but there was a lot of work to be done, and we focused on that. Then June came around, and we could gradually invite more people to come out. So we started planning concert events, some on Friday evenings for a late afternoon kind of, I called it our Happy You're Here hour. And then Saturday afternoons, we would do an afternoon show. On most of those events, we have a cheese plate that we offer from Dough Run Catering, which is out of Triple Fresh. We had a good time, and we were able to really safely provide a space for a lot of people. The weekends, as more and more people started hearing about, you know, the great outdoor place you could go and this incredible view, people really started showing up in large amounts. And, you know, you get a little nervous in this kind of business, especially, you know, with what's happening
in our surroundings,
with the virus. I can't even say its name, but it's happening, and you want to take that. And so we really were able to let people spread out, and there was never a closed environment. Right now it's closed because it's kind of cold and it's dark, but we plan on keeping the doors open even on the coldest days. And we have fire pits that we've put in to keep everybody warm. This weekend, we have kind of a holiday shindig. We have Jillian Grassi, who is a local girl who made very good. She's one of our frequent players. She plays the harp and does these incredible vocals. And it's just a really beautiful backdrop to look out over the Brandywine Valley, this part of Chester County where we are. The vineyard scene, it's just this rolling, incredible. And so music out here is really nice. And being able to spread out in a way has been a really great blessing for us. And a lot of people have, you know, turned out and kept it safe.
A lot of people really enjoy just being outdoors where they can spread out and not be crowded or crunched up with other very close quarters per se. It's been a wonderful venue for us. The first photograph is our tasting room, looking from the east to the west, where all the doors are open. We do have a venue in play there in the center photograph. And the photograph on the right is a picture, just a small picture of our grounds. If you veer off to the left or were to visualize looking to the left of that, you have a wonderful view of the vineyard that has a wonderful backdrop of the hills across the Brandywine Creek.
So a few things. We really love the sparkling wine collection. We feel like it's a great wine to pair with a variety of cheeses. And it's rare that I ever hear anybody having a little wine left over. Save old wine for cooking. We always like to have a little wine by the back of the oven, stove, range top to throw into whatever's happening on that stove top, whether it's our eggs. Often I call them chardonnay eggs. I like to also saute vegetables with a little wine for steaming purposes. It's just good. I mean, I know it's if you have a little bit left, let them collect and pour them all into one, or just save a little.
Or if you have a collection of red wines, you can always make a really nice mulled spice wine from scratch. You can pour them together. If they're dry wines, you can add a little sugar to them. If they're dry and sweet, it's always fascinating. As a winemaker myself, part of the creativity is blending wines together, because the flavors that are embraced by each of the varietals, when they come together as a unit, they're really phenomenal. And sometimes you can really make a wonderful mulled wine.
We definitely recommend scratch, using herbs, the dried herbs. They're running through my head right now.
Sliced citrus,
dried oranges, anise, allspice, clove, cinnamon, definitely sticks, a little ginger, all of those things in a dried form, and you can make a little sachet. I wish I had a demonstration to show you of that, but we'll be doing that on Saturday. We'll be serving our mulled wine, and we'll probably serve it throughout the season just to have a nice warm wine.
And what's important is not to let the wine boil. It's just very important to keep it nice and warm, gently warmed and steeped. And just and you can always sugar to taste. It doesn't have to be extravagantly sweet, but it's always nice to have a little soft sweetness to it.
Then if you want to give it a real kick, a little brandy or something extra spirit, just to give it a little extra warmth. But we definitely love mulled wine, especially at this time of year for holiday gatherings. This happened just the other night. This beautiful weekend, we look forward to being able to, as I mentioned earlier, keep a safe environment where no one's enclosed. We like to keep the doors open. We'll have the fire pits going. Dough Run Catering will be out with us on the 19th, preparing a special menu. She's doing a s'mores kit for us, so we'll be able to make some s'mores. We'll have our mulled wine and spiked cider. It's going to be a fun day.
It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be cold, and there will be a little snow on the ground. So
dress warm. We hope to see a lot of you coming out. Our hours are going to be 12 to 5, and music is from 1 to 4 on Saturday. That's the Saturday the 19th.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Jason and Michael.
Thank
While I bring
you.
up Don's presentation here, first of all, I'm curious to, to see an exact recipe for your Chardonnay eggs. I'm not sure
It's just
if those would be like children appropriate, but I think grown-up eggs.
It cooks off. It cooks off.
The alcohol cooks off. That's the most important thing.
Chardonnay and butter and a little thyme.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So you know what? Let me hop on to our next presenter, Don Gable from Conebella Farm, for What is Wine Without a Little Bit of Cheese on the Side. We'll answer the questions at the end. And so Stargazers folks, just hang on and let me share my screen. So you can see how beautiful Conebella is as well. Let's see, here we go. And there we go. Don, my friend, take it away.
Oh, nice.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to share our story and talk about our cheese and just let everybody know what we're doing. So a little bit about our farm, the background. My great-grandfather purchased our farm in 1923. So we're coming up on 100 years of Gable's owning this property. The farm itself is 198 acres, and we milk 100 Ayrshire cows. Not a typical breed, not very many in Chester County, not very many in the state or even the United States, but we have found that this breed of cows that you can see right there, they make very good cheese. And it has to do with the butter fat and protein content, the ratio that those are in, and also the size of those globules. It just makes excellent cheese. We have cheese makers off the farm that make our products for us. We are the farmers. We milk the cows, we grow the crops, we feed them, do all that stuff. We have local cheese makers that take our milk to make our aged cheeses and our fresh cheeses for us. And there you can see some of our products. One of our biggest things that we have right now is our Greek yogurt and our yogurt smoothies. They are very popular, very well received. And our newest product that we have with both the Greek yogurt and our yogurt smoothies, we have an apple cinnamon flavor in each, the yogurt and the smoothie. So that's our newest flavor that we have. We have currently 9 different yogurt smoothie flavors, 7 different Greek yogurt flavors, in addition to our aged cheeses. So we have 14 different aged cheese flavors, ranging from, we have cheddars and Colbys, sharp cheddar being the most popular one most people are familiar with. We have 4 different Colby flavors, and you can see these on our website. We have a list of everything on our website, all the different products that we have. You can see the cultured butter that we have there. That's been something that we started this past year. It's a little bit different recipe than just regular butter that you get in the store. It's a European style recipe, a little bit higher fat, has some probiotics and live cultures in, not like yogurt, but it just enough to add to the flavor of it. Our cheese curds are down in the lower right-hand corner, 4 different cheese curd varieties. We have plain, garlic basil, pizza, and jalapeno. And I will say, in getting back to our aged cheeses, last year at the farm show cheese competition, our sharp cheddar was first place in the cheddar Colby category, which you can see there. Our cheese curds were 3rd place in the cheddar Colby category. And the sharp cheddar was then 3rd place, best of show over all the entries. So we were very excited about that. It's the first time we ever entered the farm show. I think it's a testament to 2 things. Number one, it's a testament to our cheese makers that make the products for us. And it's also a testament to our milk, the quality of milk that we have. We take great pride in having a high quality milk that we get from our cows. And so I think both those things play into the fact that our cheese is won at the farm show. Currently, we have a lot of different holiday offerings. I just thought I'd bring a couple here to share with you. This is our sampler pack that we have. It's 4-ounce blocks of 4 of our most popular cheeses: sharp cheddar, smoked cheddar, garlic and chive, and jalapeno. And we also have some different things, some custom baskets and boxes that people can make. If they go to our website or just give us a call, we can put things together for them. We're very happy to do that. We're currently going to a couple different markets right now where we have our products. The Westchester Growers Market, we're there every Saturday. We take all of our products there. It's been a very good market, very well received. People are looking for local products. And so the market has really been a huge success this year. Not that it hasn't been, market's been there for 26 years now, and it's been well received, but even this year, even more so, with people looking to buy local products, shop in the outdoors, and get things from their local growers and producers. As you can see here, some of the serving suggestions, always with a glass of wine. And I am not good with pairing cheese with wine. We have some wineries that use our cheese. They'll only take our sharp cheddar. And then we have other wineries that will take all 14 flavors of our cheddar and Colby. So I think it's whatever you prefer to have. As long as you have cheese with it, it's all good. We have cheese plates, quiche, omelets. Our boys, we can't have anything here without shredded cheese in. We always need to have shredded cheese in our house. And I did fail to mention, when I talk about our boys, I am the 4th generation here on this farm. I have two of my sons are working with us, so they're 5th generation, and the 6th generation is on the way, due to arrive in March. So we're really excited about that, to be grandparents, although it's hard to believe I'm going to be a grandparent, but that's coming down the road. So we have all of our cheeses available. We have a store here on the farm. You can find us at, like I said, the Westchester Growers Market, and also any number of places throughout Chester County. If you look on our website, it tells you the various places where our cheeses are located and you can purchase them. And we are on, we're up in Elverson. We're right near Chester, where Chester, Lancaster, and Berks all come together. So we're just a few miles from Berks County, a few miles from Lancaster, and really beautiful part of the county. We're in West Naperville Township, a lot of preserved ag land in the county, and we're very thankful and very fortunate to be where we are.
Thank you, Don. That was great. And congratulations on grandparenthood. That's so exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting. It'll make things different. That's for sure.
I think the last time we were at your farm, it was for your Farmer of the Year award last year, and your son and his fiance were just engaged. I think the wedding was coming up any day then. So it's so exciting to hear the next generation on the farm.
Yeah, they were married on the farm last October, and yeah, so they're expecting now here at the end of March. So yeah,
that's so fun.
Things are changing rapidly.
I think that's fair to say about everything these days.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay, so let me start with one question from the audience. Okay, this is for, it looks like Jason and Michael. How do you prepare the vineyard for winter? Do you have to cover the vines? Oh, let me unmute you here. Let's see. There we go.
There we go. So we do not cover the vines. We rely on Mother Nature to be gentle to us. The vines get plenty of moisture throughout the summer, throughout the fall, even in the winter, we have a lot of moisture. The vines have gone through their fall color change. All of the leaves have fallen off as of probably about the 2nd week of November or so. And right now, all the vines are basically just sticks and stems and trunks, all being structured, looking like soldiers out in the vineyard. We will start our pruning process in January, and we will continue pruning until about April, and then we'll start tying our canes down and prepare for bud break in the spring, typically around May.
Okay, and it looks like another question for you guys. Where in the area can we buy your wine?
We do have an outlet here at the farm winery. We are really, once you get out here and get used to the roads, it's pretty easy. But the first trip out can be a little nerve-wracking. You're driving on back country, southern Chester County, small farm roads. We're 10 minutes from Downingtown, 20 minutes from Westchester, really close, 15-20 to Kennett Square. So the trip out here is well worth the drive. Plus you get to meet us. But we do also have wines in some Westchester Giants, Thorndale Giant, Kennett Square, and Exton.
There we go. Yeah, and do you still have the purple signs up?
The purple signs are still up. Yep.
That was helpful when I drove there.
Yes. They stayed up all season. They never got mowed over. I feel like the township's just like, okay.
What's wonderful is that we've had a couple of signs that have disappeared, but have shown up either with another sign in a different location and or at our driveway. So we have really wonderful customers.
People have returned them.
Returned the sign.
Oh.
That's a great thing. So we're very grateful.
Don, I have a question for you. Do you name your cows?
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, all the cows have a name. We go through that every year, registering all of our calves for the year, naming them all. So they're all named and individualized. And I tell people they all have their own personality. They're just like people. Some are very curious. And we've had many different tours at our farm. So when people come and they'll walk in the barn where you saw the cows eating, there'll be some that'll come up and they'll want to see the people and like reach out and try to lick them. And then you'll have other cows that they just don't want any part of it. They'll just sort of turn and walk away and go to the back of the barn and get as far away as they can. And so they're all different. They're exactly like people. They all have their own personality and their own little inner idiosyncrasies about them.
Let's see. Now, Don, we have a question. Can we buy your products at the farm? Somebody on the call, I guess, lives right nearby and you're practically neighbors and they'd love to stop by and grab gifts for the family. So how should people do that?
Yes, we do have a store here in the farm. We have all of our products available. Everything. We have our gift packages out there. There's also an order form to fill out if you'd like to order anything, have it customized. We can do that. When you come to the store, if we're not right there, my phone number is listed and you can just give us a call, but we are usually right around the farm. Somebody's always here on the farm. And so it's no problem to stop by. Everything's available right here.
Well, that's great. Let's see. Where does the breed of cow come from originally? Your famous Ayrshires.
Comes from the county of Ayr in Scotland. That's where they originated from. So that's where the name, or so the story goes anyway, but that's where the name comes from. And so it's a Scottish breed.
Okay. And let's see, Michael and Jason, what is your favorite wine if you had to pick one? I don't know if that's like picking between your children or if that's.
Oh, I really enjoy our sparkling wine collection, particularly the Brut. This is one of the legacy wines that we actually inherited. It's wine that was made by John. We have the fortune now of finishing what he started. So when we get ready to do the dosage and the disgorgement, which is the final process in sparkling wine's life before it goes to the retail shelf, we'll be able to set, the tone, like how it's going to finish, whether we want to sweeten it up a touch or if we want it to stay on the dry spectrum.
Or we can soften the flavor.
And softening that finish as well. We did that with this current bottling, and my favorite of them is the Chardonnay. I love the Brut. The Rosé is really good too, though.
And I would say for me, the red wines for me are quite fascinating. I really enjoy the Petit Verdot. We just have now recently released our new Cabernet Franc. It is a 2016 Cabernet Franc. And we are going to be coming out with a new release of Teroldego, as I mentioned earlier. So Teroldego, the Italian variety, I'm very excited about for the flavor profile and the characteristics. And I think it's going to be a really wonderful wine.
Great. Don, Jody
Yes.
Gawker wants to know what your favorite cheese is.
Jody, nice that you could join us. I like our smoked jalapeno. That is my favorite cheese. I like to eat that when we're working. I'll get a block of that and slice that into little cubes or slices and have that with pretzels, and it has a nice little kick to it. And that's my favorite one. That's the one I enjoy.
I was
Sounds
going to say,
good.
what? Oh, sorry.
Sounds good.
Oh.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably doesn't make for a good smoothie flavor, but that sounds like a good cheese.
With a little of our Tinto, actually. Spicy cheese and a little sweet wine. Very nice together.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's see. Oh, a question for Jason and Michael. Have you had any issues with spotted lanternfly, dare I ask?
Yes, we have. They started showing up last year a little bit. And this year we saw quite a few of them. We are on a 10-day program for insecticides to keep them at bay. we use 7 primarily, which is a very safe pesticide. I don't like to use harsh pesticides, but we do have problems with them. We can spray one day, and tomorrow morning the lanternflies will be right back because they come in droves. They come out of the woods, out of the trees that surround us. And it's, as I gave an example sometime back to one of the writers for one of the local papers, I described it as a pebble falling into a pond of still water, and you have this ripple effect, how the ripples come out. And each ripple for me is a wave of lanternflies that are always coming out. You know, we can spray, we can kill the ones that are on the plants, but they come right back the next day. I guess the worst population we had, close to the tree line where the vines are located near the tree line, we probably had around 150 lanternflies per plant. So it was quite numerous, but we were able to keep them at bay. And I might add that was probably after a 4th spray. Well, as soon as I spray, within a couple of hours, they fall down to the ground. And so, well, I'm sorry, the second spray. So that's after two sprays, the accumulation was about 150 per plant. And it just kind of stacked up throughout the year, unfortunately. But we didn't have, I don't see any egg cases around because we've, maintained the adults, from laying the eggs.
Hopefully, and as we're pruning, as we get out and start pruning, we can look for those egg sacs on different aspects of the trunks, the posts.
Train posts.
Yeah. And you just scrape them up.
Scrape them off.
Well, and hopefully too, this cold weather we're about to have will kind of knock them back a little bit more. I've heard that they don't seem to like very cold winters.
They don't. We hope we have a nice cold winter
to kill them organically, naturally. Yeah.
A cold winter in the respect that we don't get down to -10. But
and hurt the grapes.
If it just stays below freezing for several weeks, that's the best that could happen for all the pestilence or the disease pressure that we have.
See, onto a happier question. Do you tend to cook with both reds and whites, or is it generally one or the other?
Oh, no, absolutely. And what is that old joke? It's a very old joke. There's a little, I cook with wine and sometimes I put it in the pot. Definitely red and white cooking. That's one of the nice things about having a winery is we don't always get through a bottle at the end of the week. I may have a little bit of, each variety left. So those wines get retired. And sometimes Michael drinks them before I can cook with him. But if they get to the cooking shelf, stews, definitely this time of year. We like to do a lot of lamb. So we'll be using red wines in every lamb dish that we do. White wine is always, like I mentioned, our chardonnay eggs. And so if you're really curious about that, what you do, you start your eggs with a little butter in the skillet, just
or bacon drippings.
or bacon. If you're start them like you're going to fry them, and then when they just start to get a little done, a tablespoon or two, just a nice healthy splash in your skillet of Chardonnay or any dry white, a sprinkle of fresh herbs or dried herbs, then cover it up, and you're essentially kind of like poach frying it, I guess. I think I invented that. I think I invented that, poach frying. So
trademark it now.
That's basically what's happening, because you're starting it out like a fried egg, and then you add the liquid. And how boring would water be? Yeah. So Chardonnay. Yes, Chardonnay eggs.
And a glass lid helps you see the doneness of the eggs. So if you like,
if you have a glass lid,
eggs, you can always
cook them to any temperature you like them. If you like the whole PA Dutch dippy eggs, yes, you can do that, or you can make them a little more solid. And also a little fresh or a little herbs is kind of important to help with the wine and
marjoram, thyme,
coriander, all of those things. Yeah.
I may need to have a second dinner after all this talk.
You know, we would actually really love, one of the things that we're talking with Triple Fresh right now, and Dough Run Catering, is about offering a brunch, a Sunday brunch, when we get past, you know, COVID and into a season where we can socially gather and be safe and keep, but we're talking about a brunch with them, kind of
Here at the
early planning phase, nothing solidified and nothing to announce yet, but definitely look for some food events to happen here at Stargazers, because we are definitely eaters. And
we also plan on doing a winemaker's dinner out of the vineyard.
Oh, fun.
You know, during the summer months when it's nice and warm and comfortable, especially during the fall.
Okay.
and we need to reach out to Don and get some of his cheese in here. We definitely need to do that. Sharp cheddar is there is always a chunk of sharp cheddar in our refrigerator.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's just.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Now, Don, while I have you here, do you grow all of the food for your cows?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we grow everything here, all the forages for the cows. We do have to purchase some soybeans for the soybean meal to add protein to their diet, but we grow everything that they eat here on the farm. And we have a nutritionist hired, so I will say they eat a far more balanced diet than any of us do. I mean, it is balanced. It is balanced right down to the last little micro mineral for those cows. And so we have the way we feed them, we have a machine that everything goes into that machine. It mixes it up. So every bite that they eat should be the same as the last bite. So it all should be, and so it's an art and a science in doing that. And there's a lot of research. And so the cows are our livelihood. That's the backbone of everything here. So we do everything we can to keep them healthy, comfortable, and satisfied. 365 days a year.
This sounds like no small task. What is the shelf life of your cheeses?
So the aged cheeses really have no shelf life. They will not. We sell them and package them in vacuum sealed blocks. The standard size is 8-ounce vacuum sealed blocks. So that's how they come, but you can get larger or smaller sizes as well. But 8 ounces is a standard size. So as long as they are in that vacuum sealed package, they'll be fine. They will last in your refrigerator for months. Now the fresh cheeses, there's a different story. So we do, and I forgot to mention, we have fresh mozzarella as well. So the fresh mozzarella has a 4-week date from when that is made. The cheese curds have an 18-day date from when they're made. So for instance, today we picked up the cheese curds that were just made today. So they'll have an 18, I didn't even look, whatever 18 days from today is, that'll be the sell by date. That doesn't mean they're going to go bad, because they will last past the date, but they're freshest by that time. And then the yogurts have a 3-week date on those. And again, they'll be good past that date as well. But the 3-week date is a good safe period. And we usually turn the product over in that time. So that's pretty much a synopsis of our dates. Our cheese spreads, I forgot to mention, we do have cheese spreads as well. We have 8 different cheese spread varieties, flavors. They are made with the cheeses. So the cheese spreads have 70% of the cheese. And for instance, our horseradish spread, which is our most popular one, has our horseradish cheddar, Colby cheese, and then there's enough cream cheese in there to give it some texture, but they are preservative free. So they also have about a 4-week date on as well.
Mix that into your mashed potatoes next time.
Oh, that sounds very good.
And a dash of wine at the same time.
We put our bacon cheddar cheese spread on potatoes or on baked potatoes.
Oh my God. Sounds delicious.
I like where this is going. Let's see, what's the best way to store wine, guys?
Well, so we recommend that after you open a bottle of wine, that you store it upright in the refrigerator For white wines, if it's very hot, you may store your red wines in the refrigerator. I prefer to leave red wines out on the countertop unless it's rather warm outside. We don't have air conditioning in our house, but in the cellar, it's always nice to keep the wines around 65 degrees, maybe 70 degrees. Once a bottle of wine is open, we keep it for 3 days. Here in the tasting room, we normally don't have 3 days for that wine to last because we pour it out as tasters or by the glass. We do stop the wines with just a standard cork that we pull out of the bottle. If we open a bottle on a Friday afternoon and we have some left, it goes into the refrigerator. Sometimes we'll use a vacuum vent seal to pull out the air. It pulls a vacuum on the inside chamber where the air surface is up on the top of the wine, and then we will put those wines in the refrigerator. But 3 days tops is recommended. And the reason we recommend storing the bottles upright is, for example, if we have a bottle of wine right here, so this is a bottle of our Gruner, there's just a very small amount of wine in this bottle. In this case, this wine will probably go to the kitchen if I don't drink it before it goes there, or Jason does. But any volume of wine, so if we had if the wine were halfway in the bottle, we recommend storing the bottle upright because it's the smallest amount of surface area that air will touch the wine. If you lay it down on its side, you increase the surface area by twice or more. And so the wine will oxidize and the flavors will be released more quickly, and you lose the characteristics and traits that are in the wine faster. So it's best to store the wines vertically with a cork in them.
If you have an airtight seal, we have these little things that we call Haley's corkers. You know, and like I mentioned earlier, it's very rare that many adults have anything left over after a dinner in the bottle. But if you do, a Haley's corker is a nice airtight. It keeps the air from getting in there. All right, Nana. Product plug.
Let's see, I'll take 2 more questions. What other wildlife harms the vineyard other than insects? I'm guessing maybe deer issues?
Well, we don't have deer issues. We have a deer-proof fence, which is working really well. We have gophers, groundhogs.
Birds. If we don't have the net, the vines netted, birds really love the grapes. Yeah. And that's
so birds are
struggle.
Really, they don't. It's funny, we have a couple of rows of red grapes. They are called Dorsa, which is a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon and Dornfelder, a German variety of grape. And the birds will love that grape. And about 6 rows down, we have Petit Verdot, which is also a dark red grape. It ripens, it turns color about the same time, and they don't even see the Petit Verdot. So the birds are really quite gourmet tasters, if you wish, because they will go after the Dornfelder, but they won't touch the Petit Verdot. And same on some of the white varieties. You know, our Chardonnay grapes were attacked viciously by birds, whereas the Arnays and the Gruner Veltliner had no issues hardly at all. But we do have bird netting. Birds are probably the most problematic.
We'll be netting the whole vineyard.
Yeah, the whole vineyard will be netted. So each row is netted on each where the crop hangs.
And if you're interested in pruning, you can give us a call. We'll gladly show you how it's done.
Nice.
And share wine.
Speaking of, that is our last question of the evening. What wine are you guys drinking right now?
Well, this is the Chardonnay Brut.
Brut, the bubbly.
The one I mentioned.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I might add this. You know, Don brought up a really good point that each of the cows have their own personality. It also holds true in the fauna phase, because each vine that's out in the vineyard, they're all children, and they all have their own personalities. They all have their own traits. They have their health issues. One can get a virus. One can succumb to a bacterial growth on the plant. the plant may be damaged by a freeze in the winter months. That also translates into the wine. Wines are also like people. Some wines are very soft, some wines are very harsh, some are very bitter, some are very sweet, some are very easygoing. So it's a phenomenon, and I think
I'm an easygoing wine.
so Don, thank you for that. But it holds true with the wines as well. So the wines have their own personality, and we invite you to come out and try them.
Well, I accept that delicious invitation.
Thank you so much for inviting us to participate in this. And thank you, Dawn. Thank you, everyone who's joined us.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I was going to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. I'll be following up with an email with Conebella and Stargazers information. So if you all want to do some holiday shopping before it's too late, you'll know where to go. And please feel free to let me know what other topics you'd like to learn more about in the future. But yeah, Don, Jason, Michael, thank you so much. And I know, like, joining us right before a big snowstorm probably wasn't what you had on your calendar, but we appreciate you taking the time tonight.
It was awesome.
Oh,
It's
awesome.
been
Thank you
great
so
fun.
much.
Yes. Thank you for having us on. I appreciate it very much.
Well, great. Well, everyone have a good night and be safe tomorrow. And I expect an email from me. Take care.